Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Mag. So Newcastle of course took on Man United down at Old Trafford yesterday, and as you can see the game ended in a 3-1 to Man United. Now the scoreline in my opinion, didn't justify the way the game played. Newcastle absolutely dominated the game for the first 60 minutes, and then unfortunately, we did see the return of Bruce Ball once again, and that's something we've been saying quite a lot. We've been playing a very good game. Since Graham Jones has come in, we've played a very attacking style of football, and then we start seeing the Bruce side of things coming back into it. Bruce interfering, telling the players more information over the top of what Jones has said, and it's not the stuff that the players need to hear. They're being given the tactics to go out there on the pitch, perform, from Graham Jones. That's what Jones was brought in to do, because Steve Bruce doesn't have that tactical side, and he never has had that tactical side, for the 20 plus years that he's been in management. He's never ever had a tactical side. But look at, the clubs that he's managed in the past. Has he ever improved any team that he's ever managed in the past? He hasn't, and that's something we see, from Steve Bruce all season. We've been saying it, and he's just dragging this team down and down and down. And before long, if Mike Ashley doesn't make the decision and doesn't pull the trigger, then we are going down. But looking at the fixtures, I can't see that being the case, because if we play the way we did last night against Manchester United the rest of this season, then I've got a big feeling that we will stay up in the Premier League, because our running of fixtures, what's left, is far better than the running of fixtures that Fulham have got left. And talking about the game last night, Man United were lucky to get the early lead in the game on the 30th minute. It was against the run of play. We were absolutely dominating in the game, and Caldolo again, very, very soft goalkeeping from Caldolo once again. This is why we need Martin Dubravka back in the side, because he would have never let that sort of shot get into the back of the net. He would have never allowed that to be a goal. And we've seen it, from Martin Dubravka in the past. He's saved them opportunities when he's been called upon to do so. And Caldolo last night well and truly made that way too soft for Marcus Rashford to get the lead. And then the other goals in the game for Man United as well, very, very soft in my opinion. And like I say, we absolutely played amazing for the first 60 minutes, but then that Bruce Ball came back into it and it just completely destroyed the game. Not to mention also questionable decisions in the game, like Harry Maguire, which you'll be able to see on the picture, of course, where Harry Maguire actually elbowed Jamal Lascelles in the back, and Paul Tierney can see a clear view of it, which of course you'll be able to see on the picture once again. Paul Tierney had a clear view to seeing that, and he's seen that foul and nothing was done. Even VAR had to have seen that, Stuart Atwell on VAR had to have seen that elbow in the back by Harry Maguire, and in my opinion, he was very, very lucky, Harry Maguire, and not have been sent off there. He should have been sent off in the game, and that could have changed the game as well. Without Harry Maguire playing in that back line, then that might have opened up chances for us to get something in the game. We did, of course, score one goal in the game, but, it's one of them things where you look at it, and you just think it should have been different. It should have been a much better game for us, if not for the cheating, in the game. As always, again, we get cheated and there's questionable decisions made in the games. And I've got to say one thing, in a lot of Newcastle fans have been saying this, or at least they should be saying this. Does VAR actually work during Newcastle United games? Do they actually watch Newcastle games on VAR, or do they just switch it off? Because you've got to ask this, because literally the way the games play out, the decisions that are being made, they're so bad, the decisions that you've got to question whether they're watching the game on VAR or not, because literally that decision last night for Marcus Rashford to get that penalty, that was the softest penalty call I have ever seen in all of my life of watching football. And literally, I've never ever seen a penalty call so soft. You can literally see Joe Willock go connect to the ball, and Rashford is about this much away from Joe Willock, and he's diving. You can see it on the reverse angle. There's a picture, of course, I'll show you up on screen now, but you can literally see on a reverse angle from the match highlights that he clearly doesn't connect at all. Joe Willock clearly doesn't connect at all with Marcus Rashford, but for some reason they deem it a penalty. Answer me that. Why do they deem it a penalty? Other than the fact that the Premier League, in my opinion, are straight out to get Newcastle relegated. And literally, if you look at it as well, the league table, which will be up on screen now as well, Southampton are in a position to be relegated. Crystal Palace are in a position to be relegated. Fulham is obviously in a position to be relegated. But the only one that they're talking about for relegation is us, Newcastle. Why? Because they don't want Newcastle in the Premier League. Because they're scared of what can happen. They don't want Piff to come in and take over Newcastle United because they're scared of what will happen. Because they know for a fact that whether they like it or not, Newcastle would be winning a league title under Piff. And that is a fact. That is a fact right there, that Newcastle would be winning the title under Piff. They never were able to stop Man City from doing it. Everybody took the mick back when Man City were getting taken over, laughing because they were going for the likes of Kaka. And then as soon as they won their first trophy, everybody shut their mouths. And that's exactly the case with Newcastle. They're scared because as soon as Newcastle do get that takeover from Piff, which is going to come, you know, it's not a matter of if anymore. It is definitely going to come. Whether they like it or not, there's enough evidence from Nick DeMarco's side, literally looking at all this stuff what's went on. Even the incident last night of that penalty, that would also factor in to us getting a takeover. And that is enough to push for Newcastle to get that takeover from Piff, be able to get rid of Mike Ashley from Newcastle United once and for all after 14 years of a dictatorship where everybody knew, even John Hall knew when he was selling the club to Mike Ashley, what he was going to do with the club. He knew he was going to use it as an advertising board. Everybody knew he was going to use it as an advertising board. He even said that himself. And yet we still have pundits out there, media out there, saying that Mike Ashley was always going to come into the club and try and help Newcastle build. He was never going to. He literally told with himself that he was using the club as an advertising board. Why would anybody want an owner like Mike Ashley who comes in and literally just wants to use your club as an advertising board? It's not profitable for the club. It's not profitable for us fans having to sit and watch football like Steve Bruce has been producing this season. And we're only starting to see some positive football thanks to the likes of Graham Jones coming in with a more attacking style of football. Literally, I can't wait any longer for this takeover. It's got to come now, and it definitely needs to, because the way things are going at this club, we'll literally be lucky in 5 years' time if we don't get that Piff takeover soon. We'll be lucky in 5 years' time if we're still in the Premier League. Let us know your thoughts, of course, down in the comments below about last night's match against Man United. In my eyes, you know, it should have been a different game. We played amazing, like I say, for the first 60 minutes in the game. Then it just went completely back to Bruce Bull. There was questionable decisions from the officiating team, of course, as always. because that's always the case with Newcastle games. We never ever get a fair crack of the whip when it comes to the referees making decisions. And, you know, look at last season, we got so many great decisions thanks to VAR, and now suddenly VAR's not being used. So, you know, answers that one. That's a questionable move in my opinion. Let us know your thoughts anyway down in the comments below. Next game up, of course, we're up against Wolves on Saturday, so hopefully that will be a game where we can get a win and start pushing up away from that relegation fight against Fulham. But like I say, we've got a very good run of fixtures, whilst Fulham have to go up against quite a lot of the top six, so that's going to be a tough one for Fulham. And, you know, at the end of the day, I really think we've got a big chance of staying up. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, remember, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all later. How well, lads.